Now, where to begin? What was the first story? Oh
Let's
yeah,
tell
my
you what.
brother is named Jeremy. I'm named Jacob. Older brother's James. Oldest brother's Josh, and my dad's name is also James. So, I just figured I'd let you know how many J names are in my.
Yeah.
Now the good story. So I have, don't get jealous, Brains, but I have this other friend that I sit around and I, end up talking to a lot, and we just like chat shit for a bit about politics and whatever video games, whatever the current topic of interest is of that day. Drives our fucking economics teacher crazy, but that's not important. So I decided this was So, I don't remember what it got us on. Oh yeah, I was talking about games with generally good ideas that like don't go anywhere because the devs couldn't balance it. So a bit like what we discussed with Evolve, with Lawbreakers, with that kind of thing, where you see all that potential and it just goes nowhere. So we got to talk about that. He said, and he remembered I played a lot of Ark, so he's like, "Oh, was Ark kind of like that?" I said, "In a way." But it led to me expressing some of the horrible stories from Ark, because, and they aren't Chris's fault. These are just, it was an analysis of the game because it is a very much a reflection of humanity. Because the whole game is so free and open, and the shit that happens in it is unbelievable. So I started explaining it. I was like, so the first time I realized things were kind of fucked up in Ark was when I realized there was legitimate slavers and slave traders in the game. Like, the first thing. That's when I was like, wait a minute. This is getting a bit sketchy. But it just escalated. I explained all the alpha, beta, sub-tribes that... It all develops on its own, this full feudal system. And he's like, what the fuck, Jake? I thought this game was just, cavemen on dinosaurs. I was like, no. And he absolutely lost his shit when I told him about flying fortresses. He couldn't handle it. I felt bad, because I gave him a bit of culture shock on that one. And I remember, and I explained how you could disease dodo birds to create biological warfare, and etc., etc. How everything in Ark ended up having another layer to it. And how it was Ark's a genuinely fucked up game, and reflecting on, I can't say I had fun, but it was an experience. Because I played from launch on, like, beta onward. I got to see it all develop. Like, the system, the politics, essentially, of the game, the slave trades. God. Let me just tell you, being a slave is not fun. Let's start there. We just express that flat out. It sucks being a slave in Ark. It really fucking does. And they get very good at keeping track of you. I don't know if Chris ever told you about how we ended up enslaved, but we did.
No, he did not mention it.
Yeah, we became slaves for a bit. Then Chris got buddy-buddy with the guys, because, Chris is he's too lovable.
Yeah.
He got us. We were sort of official members or unofficial members of the tribe. Then he kind of. I never found out the details of what happened here, but Chris like snapped a little, I think, and he went on a rampage in their base. He killed half the dinos. He killed all the guys. He took a bunch of their shit. He said, "All I heard was Jake, we're leaving," and I was like, "Okay." And that was a funny story about Chris. I was like, I don't know what happened. I'll never know what happened. But it's just something I accepted because it was so fucking weird and funny. And that's the kind of thing I mean in Ark. It can bring out the worst in everyone, even gentle, lovable Chris. And like I said, and then I told him about the Iron Man suits, and Noah just started holding his head in his hands because he couldn't comprehend the levels that really it's just meant to be a basic survival game, but when you give people power to harness and gather whatever they want, shit hits the fan pretty quick. And frankly, when you see a giant giraffe-style pterodactyl thing flying on you with mounted turrets on its back and it's made of metal and it screeches, and you just know you fucked up. Somewhere in your life, you fucked up because you're about to lose everything. There's nothing you can do. You can pray. You've got a shitty little spear. You're like, okay. Take me, God. We're done.
Was there a second story you had? Is there another one now?
That was the big Ark one, because I thought that was a bit funny. Because you always caught us playing on it, and you're like, oh, you guys are always playing Ark now. I was like, and I just thought I'd explain a little bit as to why and what that was.
I know no more about the game with you just telling me in like 10 minutes in detail.
What do you mean? You can't wrap your head around it, or you just weren't listening enough? Just
a bit of both, but it's more just, it's Ark. I'm never gonna pick it up.
Slaves. I don't want you to. I don't recommend it. That's my issue with Ark. Even with all the hours I put into it, I can't recommend it as a game. It's not fun to play. It's not pleasant. And Noah's actually the one who showed me GTFO. I sent you that trailer, didn't I? The Left 4 Dead style.
Yes.
That was a good game. I hope that comes out for console, because that's
was
gonna
a
be,
good game. It may be a good
is
game.
a good game. Well,
not...
I know it's going to be already. This is future Jacob, and it's gonna be great. It was great.
If you say so, we'll see.
I have high hopes, Brains. It's a co-op, and I'm
yeah, but it barely gives you anything in the trailer. Like, normally trailers show you like the full potential of the game. I know, because obviously the horror versions they kind of can't. But it's just one of those things.
And it's also a very, very early game. Well, it's very early in not development, but like we've got very little news on it thus far. Let's see. Do I have another story? I think I might. Let me think about this. I don't know if I can tell you about my zany family, but I don't know if that particularly interests you. And I could also tell you about Eli being very odd. I love Eli. He's so funny. So, one of my teachers is a really, really chill English teacher, right? I don't think I've told you this story. And her student, my buddy Eli, he had this project due and he said, "Why do you hate us?" That's it. And he finished with, Eli's such a cheery, funny guy, so he just finishes with, sarcastically, he goes, "That's it, I'm gonna commit." And he does this over email. So Miss Robinson, the poor woman, goes, "Eli, now I have to do all this paperwork and I'm sad like you are." and she sends it to the counselor and he goes, "Everyone's a frickin' idiot." And it gets even funnier because Eli, I caught leaving English class coincidentally. Guess what I run into on his way to the guidance office? Because he has to tell them he's not suicidal. My poor Eli.
So his
he gets in there. No, that would be too much.
Oh,
too
damn.
much. Poor Eli. And he's going there, he's like, now that I have to go in there and talk to them, I do want to commit. And he started laughing. I started laughing with him. It was a meme and a half. Yeah. Do you have any funny stories, Brains, or do I have to scramble here a bit? Come up with a couple more.
I don't have funny stories, but I have some stories.
Oh. I can tell you about how my family has narrowly avoided being rich.
No.
Which is an interesting story.
Well, no, for me, it's just the fact that, I mean, I had a trip to London recently. So that was...
How was London?
Yeah, it's crowded apparently on a Saturday. So I went down on Saturday and it's like no space to breathe on the train on the way down there. So that's good. It's good to see overpopulation has destroyed us. Yeah, exactly.
Not the only thing that's destroying Britain. I mean London. Well, London in general too. London has its own issues.
Oh, we all have our own issues,
Britain is.
to be honest.
Yeah, Britain as a whole has a lot of issues. But we'll see. You know, Brexit.
Yeah.
It's never gonna actually be put into motion fully, but
Oh, what a joke. What an absolute... I mean, London was alright, but... I mean, out of all the things I was there for, I'm gonna say this once, and it's gonna... So, we went to M&M's World, because that's in London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it stinks. It's 4 floors of tourist attraction, and the smell is like... Can you imagine, like, Hyde's toxic grenade? That's the only, like, thing I can...
God. Oh, God. Was it... That's any big tourist... Especially indoor tourist attractions.
It's just so busy, and it's painful. It was just a pain. It was all disgusting.
Well, okay. Like, when I went to... The big event I went to, like, 2 or 3 years in a row was Comic-Con in New York. And you can bet your ass that was pretty crowded. But I guess it's a bit different because everyone's kind of dressed up. There's a bunch of different events.
You're in it. You're living the experience.
Yeah. With M&M World, you're just going there to see it and buy M&Ms.
The problem with it, though, is just like, it's 4 floors. You don't need that many floors to be able to buy... Crispy M&Ms are the only flavour anyway for me. Especially when... Oh, if you have crispy M&Ms and milk, that is to die for. Not even gonna lie.
So, you need
drink
one
milk
floor.
and eat crispy M&Ms. Oh, oof, that is pleasant. It's a pleasant experience. But it's just the fact that it's all kind of... It's all M&M stuff, but they're always, like, overly British as well. That's the thing that people do a lot.
Oh.
So make everything
They go
British.
over the top of it. Oh, God.
Yeah, so it'll be like Royal Guard M&Ms. There's like little soft toys for some reason.
You see, you think they... You know, if M&M wanted to make things overly American and be like, obese M&Ms, I'd be alright with that. And they're like 10 times the size. I'd pay for it. That's fine.
Yeah, but Royal Guard,
You know.
like, ugh. Stop with the stereotype. Get with the program.
What is... I don't know, what's the current British stereotype? Because all our stereotypes for you guys are from, like, the 1800s, roughly.
Yeah, I know.
You know, because
what's the drill? That's the stereotype that everyone goes by.
Yeah, you're either Cockney or posh, and there's really no in between.
Exactly.
You're more posh, if you were wondering. Love your dreams.
Me specifically.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I speak with good grammar. Good grams.
Cockney people are funny.
Yeah, those people don't speak English.
Oh, God. But yeah, I don't know. That's, like I said, I have to... It takes a lot to get me out of my house, out of my comfort zone. Like, or, you know, out of the vicinity of places I actually visit regularly.
Yeah.
And M&M World, Disneyland, etc., they don't really do it for me, I guess.
Well, because the problem is I can already get, like, a quid, so that would, be about $69, 69 cents for you.
Yeah.
It's just like, I can already get them at every single brand
M&M
chain.
World's gonna be... Well, that's my other thing. If you go to... Well, once again, similar to Disneyland, if you go, you can really buy all the shit that's there at home. I guess you can go for rides, but they're not extreme rides because they're meant to be, you know, everything has to be kid accessible. So, I don't know. For me, cons are kind of different because you're experiencing it, and you get to see stuff like before it's released.
Yeah.
Like, Comic-Con, I don't remember which one it was, but Ash vs. Evil Dead had just, like, launched. And I got to see, like, the trailer almost 2 months before it came out, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. I'm so happy this show is going to be a thing. I know you don't know what that is really, but I was very happy. I was pleasant. And then, you know, you got to see... I mean, interesting fact, when I go to Comic-Con, I usually don't end up going to the bigger events. I just kind of get some autographs, and then I go around the section where you buy shit, and they give you a bunch of free crap. And then I buy posters and memorabilia and shit.
Oh yeah. That's the way it should be, though.
And like I said, take pictures with cosplayers. That's one of the best things, the people you get to meet.
Nah, it's all about being with a cosplayer.
Yeah.
No, that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah. There was tiny Deadpool woman, and I couldn't sync that.
If I find the right Mercy cosplayer, there you go, all done.
I think you mean Diva cosplayer.
Well, no, for me, because it's blonde, isn't it? Blonde.
Blonde, yeah.
Blonde is attractive. I think, anyway.
Asians are sexy. So, if any Asian ladies are watching this on YouTube, you know, subscribe, continue watching, and, you know, give me a call.
Continue watching. You didn't come here for the British knobhead.
No,
You came here for the Americano Supreme.
The Supreme. You came here for an American. You came here for the American, even. All others are inferior.
Yeah, the American.
Yeah.
The only American.
The only one left. After Kim Jong-un fucks. No, it's not true. Well, if I'm the last American after Kim Jong-un does his shit, there won't be any Koreans.
Oh.
I don't care what people say. Twitter wars with Kim Jong-un are too much for me. I love him. I kinda love him. He can eat my shit.
Okay.
I was watching... Well, I just loved the post by Trump that was like, I too have a shiny red nuclear button. Mine's bigger. And I was like, you know what? That's the most childish thing I've ever heard, but I love it. The other thing I was doing was, I was watching... What was it? Oh yeah. I need to watch the Netflix Godzilla anime movie, but I'm very lazy, and there are a lot of games to play. So that's become an issue for me. I know I need to watch it. Apparently it's pretty fucking good. Do you like the Godzilla movies? Or the new King Kong?
Oh, I haven't watched a film in, like, forever. It's been a little while for me.
Alright, what do you think the last film you really went to see was? I haven't watched these in the theater.
Actually, if we're gonna start talking about films, I have to address something that's gonna annoy me if I don't.
Alright, let's hear it.
Why do you need so many Transformers films?
China really fucking likes them. Like, you think they do well in the US, but they sell like double or triple that in China.
Okay.
You weren't expecting me to have a fucking answer, were you?
Well, no, because they did one where there were dinosaurs in it, I think. I don't know, because I stopped after, like, the third one. I think 3 was enough.
The Dinobots were pretty... I like Dinobots, so I was kind of happy. But they're only in it for, like, a minute. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's my answer for why we have so goddamn many. This is... Alright, like, okay, the DC, the Justice League film did relatively bad, even with the Chinese performance. But they sold very well overseas. And Let's see.
It's not just that, it's just in general, like, why... On the topic of films, why do certain companies, I don't care if it's for China because they sell loads, that you've done, like, you've squeezed every single story plot line out of everything. There's nothing left. And you just think, you know what? Fast and Furious 8.
If it sells, they'll make it. That's the American principle.
Fast and Furious 8.
It did sell. Because those fans will go to see anything. It's like, okay. If it depends. It really does. Because in America, there's really two types of films. If you have a lead creative director and he decides he doesn't want to do more, the studios will usually stop because they know they'll fuck it up from there. Or the lead creative director is inconsistent and therefore the studio will just say, fuck it, we're going to keep making more till we stop making a profit. Like, and you have to keep in mind, making a profit in America is, for films anyway, is a bit different. Because, let me explain this. So in America, you've almost matched the film's budget in advertisement costs. So if a film doesn't double its money, it's considered a bust. Where it's like, it's pretty much a bust. Because they don't include advertising costs in the, how much does this film cost to make it? They don't. So it's a bit different.
It's... I don't know. Companies will do it for the sake of doing it. It doesn't mean I agree with it.
Well, like, okay. Transformers, they're gonna keep making more, because people, for some reason, there are people out there who will see Transformers 26. There we go. But, let's see. As long as you can make...
It's only Shia LaBeouf, that's
okay.
the only reason.
Yeah, I'm sure the real-life cannibal Shia LaBeouf is the whole reason. Shia LaBeouf. Fuck me. Why'd you say that? Shia LaBeouf. Like, okay, give another good example you can think of. I'm curious. I know Transformers is kind of the one, but it's because...
Well, Transformers, Fast and Furious, they're the two best examples I can give.
Yeah, but
let's
those are
think of
both
other ones.
relatively cheap films to make, and their lead directors, well, not to make, but they're not creative or plot-based, so people are like, why not make more and more and more? Plus, guess who's making Transformers?
Yeah.
Michael Bay. And Michael Bay is not known for his quality assurance. Michael Bay is very much...
It's also just the fact that... Space Chimps. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Oh my god!
What a great first film. What a disappointment of a second film.
I remember it in 2007. Fuck. Great. What the fuck? That's an old one.
Space Chimps.
I remember terrifying CGI.
Yes.
And I remember, what was it? They all looked like, hey, I'm Carl, at the end of every Jimmy Neutron episode. That's what they remind me of. Thank you. I'm gonna have nightmares now. But
You won't have nightmares.
I do remember that. But so you're saying why is it sometimes?
And
that's a bit of a different issue.
Yeah, I know that's
like
an outlier.
sequels.
That's the outlier there.
Yeah, we could do a bit of talk about sequels though. So sequels go one of three ways. They surpass their predecessor, They're serviceable or they're terrible. There's never
Yeah,
one
so
that's
you've
just
got
okay.
better
and
than
matches up.
first, average, terrible. They're the three rankings.
Yeah. Yeah. There's never one that's like just, you know, good enough. Like they're always meh.
See, though, like, there's a couple of cases where I don't know where I'd slot them. Hellboy 2 is a hard one. I would,
Hellboy 2 is
I would gladly
fun.
put that as,
That's
like,
my issue with
I don't know. That can be average
not
or
better
better
than the
than the
original.
first. 'Cause I
I don't know. I think it's closer to average. I liked a lot
Yeah,
of the
probably.
effects in the first one better. Like you know how they did all practical effects for that one. That was a really good film to me.
Yeah. Can't go wrong
let's
with
see.
the German doctor, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's true. The fish man.
Yeah. him,
lovely
him,
fish.
and the
That guy did another
was-
movie about a fish guy, and he looks just like. He
Abe.
looks just like him. He looks just like Abe. It's like Abe Sapien. His name's Abe Sapien. I swear to God, that guy did another movie about a fish person really recently, and it's really been really successful. But he confirmed it's not Abe Sapien Part 1. And I don't care what he says it is. He's a liar. He doesn't want us to know. What's another one? What's another sequel? Like Shrek 2. And Shrek 3
Oh,
is
actually,
bad.
now that you say it, that's the third example I would give. How many Shrek films are there?
5. Well, there's gonna be 5 in 2019. There's 4 right now.
Disgusting.
I mean, okay, Shrek 1 was my favorite. Shrek 2 was... To most people, they say that's the best one. Shrek 3 was average, or below average, just below average.
Yeah, just below average. That was...
And then the 4th one was awful.
I don't even remember the 4th one, because it just...
That's
the
why.
problem was, it was a good film. Sequel, you're pushing it a bit, but I can see it. That's fine. And then the third one is kind of like, right, now you're really kind of going a bit too far. Unnecessarily.
The first, like I said, the first Shrek was really good. The sequel, I understood why they needed to do it. After that, it got to be a bit much. Well, I don't know. When we go into films, it's odd, because if the studio's making money off it, I fully understand their mentality. It doesn't mean I'm okay with it, but it's how they're gonna do it. Like, okay, DreamWorks says they are planning 6 Kung Fu Panda movies in total. But,
Ooh.
to counter that argument, all 3 of the Kung Fu Panda movies so far have been, like, amazing.
Yeah, to be fair.
Like, before... So, if they keep with this level of quality, I'm okay with it. You know what I mean?
First one, amazing. Second one, it was an average one, for sure.
I liked the second one.
Just because there were parts of it that were recycled. That's what I don't like. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 was a good example of that, where they recycled jokes, and that I don't appreciate that.
Well, okay. When you gotta keep in mind with the recycled jokes is they want to do like callback jokes for the fans. The issue is they sometimes rely on it a bit too much.
Well, yeah.
But I don't know. Kung Fu Panda 2 was, I'd say, just above average or average. Kung Fu Panda 3 was pretty fucking good too.
I did like that one.
Like, and that's what I mean. As long as I stay average to above average, I'm entirely fine with that series going up. And Jack Black, God bless him, he's never not going to be funny. Let's see. Well, that's not true. He can be really fucking annoying, but he's pretty funny in those movies.
Is there going to be another Night at the Museum out soon?
No, I don't think so.
Good,
I hope not.
because that was a good example
I
of
didn't like.
very good.
I'll be brutally. I'll be honest. I didn't like either of them that much. The first one was okay. The second one was awful. Plus, didn't he kind of fall in love with a wax statue of Amelia Earhart? Or am I making that up? Or Amelia fucking... Am I right about that?
The curly
Is
hair
that her
one, yeah.
name? Yeah. Budget Scarlett Johansson, we call her.
Yeah, budget Scarlet. Yeah.
Discount Scarlett Johansson.
Discount.
Fuck me. Okay, I roast Scarlett Johansson because generally speaking, I don't like her that much. But that's just a personal vendetta I have against her. But that's not the point. She is attractive enough, and she does her roles pretty well.
Mhm.
And if you ever look at the cute romance character, you can't help but think, yeah, they could have cast Scarlett Johansson. You're faking. Fuck you. Let's see. What was it? Apparently, what's another? Well, I mean, okay, the Avengers series. Like, you could say they're milking it, but they have their whole cinematic universe thing going, so they want to continue that. I guess. The DC cinematic universe, let's see, below average, below average, below average, garbage, below average.
Sorry,
The
which
shit.
DC?
The DC cinematic universe, all of them. The best.
Only
They-
good DC
they-
films I've seen so far are Dark Knight Rises. Hands
No,
down.
but those aren't part of it.
No, but like DC, on the topic of DC, because I haven't watched like the ones that you were mentioning. I just mean like DC as a whole. Honestly,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
only
but
good thing
they
about the
are-
series is
That's
Batman.
'cause yeah, I don't know. I'll never like Batman as a character, but okay, I have an issue. I like Batman in The Dark Knight, and I like Batman when he stays in Gotham. But no matter what any argument anyone makes, you can't convince me he could actually beat Superman. It doesn't make any
That
goddamn sense.
film was just irrelevant. It's so
It
bad.
was awful. Well, the film was bad.
I don't care
And the
who wins.
concept doesn't
You're
work.
both gonna bore me to death. I lose.
I don't okay, my issue is they made Superman super fucking edgy, which didn't make any goddamn sense.
Oh, I only watched like
Yeah,
8 minutes where my dad showed me like the big proper
The
fight
only
scene. And that was
Batman I
it.
accept as I accept as the real Batman is the 1980s Batman with the nipples in his suit. What? It's true.
Fair enough.
Ooh. Some people.
Yeah, some people. You know.
Wonder Woman feminist propaganda. No, I'm just kidding. Supposedly it was a good film.
Oof, you gotta be careful
But
what you say.
I got put off by that opening. Men shouldn't see this movie. I'm like, fine, fuck you. You shouldn't see any of the Thor movies. No male roles for you. Fuck off. And I got put off by that. It's similar thing put me off Black Panther, where black people are like, oh, white people shouldn't see this movie. Like, yeah, fuck all of you. I don't want to see your shitty movie.
Ouchie.
And I had this issue with people going, Black Panther is richer than anyone in Marvel or DC because he owns a whole country and he owns like one of the strongest metals in Marvel. He owns the strongest metal in Marvel. That's not how that works. Let's start out. Batman built a space station for his super friends. I think he's a little richer. Baroni, I don't care.
And you're telling me
Alright,
Iron
let's-
Man? How many suits does he blow up on the end of the third
Yeah,
one?
exactly. Let's go off. If we're going with Iron Man, let's go off this. Okay, one, the natural resource they're sitting on is the third strongest metal in Marvel. It's not the first. It's also the least rare out of those three metals. So he can shut the fuck up. Two, once again, his metal explodes. I don't know if they made a point of that in the movie, but if you overcharge vibranium, it nukes itself, and whoever is inside the suit dies. Hulk blew up the suit twice by punching it. So it doesn't really do what people say. It stops all force. Yeah, till it overcharges itself, absorbing it, and the guy inside the suit dies. Like, that upset me.
Everything about it upset me. Not that
No,
I've
but
actually
I
seen
love
the film
that
yet.
argument. He's richer than anyone in Marvel and DC. Step back.
Lies.
My step back, it doesn't quite add up. Once again, I built a fucking... I'm never gonna get through that.
Whoever started Shield is richer than him, as well.
That's the U.S. government, and yeah, they're definitely richer.
There you go then. So he's the richest, is he?
Well, I mean, are we rich with the U.S. government, I guess? But he's not the
Outplayed.
richest, clearly. But he's clearly not. Also, the world didn't wait for his vibranium. His people are advanced, but they're not more advanced than Tony, or anyone for that matter. Oh my god. That's what upsets me about him. He's like, fuck you. He's not. Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I get you, I get you.
But once again, the math doesn't add up when Batman's just like, oh, I'll just build this super fucking space station for my super friends. Let me just let me just go into my Swiss bank account. Fine. Fuck you, Batman. He's too rich.
Nah, Batman,
pff,
I'm richer than Batman. He's got no money.
He's a fucking hobo. A dirty hobo. Oh,
That's why he blows up his house in the end of the Batman Arkham Knight game. Oh, sorry, spoiler. I've ruined the game if anyone actually pays attention to the stream.
You happy brains. We're gonna get banned.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a
They're
ban.
gonna ban us for that. They're gonna ban us for that shit.
Yeah,
I hope you're happy.
I'm very
Spoilers.
happy.
Banned for life. We're destroyed. They'll block our IPs. They're gonna hunt us down.
Yeah.
But it's let's see. Superhero movies are the big one, I guess, because nowadays, you know, there's such a big hit ever since 2012 Marvel's Avengers. Ugh. So you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok?
I haven't seen any of the most up-to-date Avengers films. Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, etc., etc.
Fuck Black Panther. I don't need Black Panther in my life.
I do think he's one of the coolest, just because obviously there's not a huge amount to him. He's nice and simplistic, but
yeah, I guess
everything around that film.
He's better than he's better than Hawkeye and Black Widow, where they have so little going on that I don't care. Well, Black Widow especially.
But the problem with like all the Avengers films and stuff is they made Hawkeye and weird what's her face?
Black Widow.
Yeah, that's the one. Black Panther's all I'm thinking about now. They made them look really, really cool in the film, and I'm not okay with that. Because they're not.
Why?
I'm sorry, they're not that impressive. Oh, the man in the iron suit. Not that it's iron, but still. The giant raging Hulk beast. Nah. There's just a woman who's really good at acrobats. That makes a hero. She can kick. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, she's kind of... No, but that's the thing with Hawkeye. At least Hawkeye... Okay, I don't care what anyone says. Hawkeye has supernatural aim. You know what I mean? Because he can do a backflip over at supersonic speed, fire an arrow, and hit a penny from a mile away. That is a superpower. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. But the one thing I have against him... You run out of ammo, what do you do, Hawkeye? Right, we'll have to fight with the bow now, don't I?
That's why in the new one... Oh, that's why he did that in the old movie. That's why in the new one he had like two quivers on his back. He's so ready. That got me laughing. I was like, okay. Well played, Marvel. But, let's see. What is it called? But, like you said, they're too impressive. They don't do enough. Well, okay. I know you're not going to agree with me, but that's my issue with Batman in the Justice League.
Oh, don't say anything about Justice League. I have like nightmares thinking about Green Arrow, that film. Oh dear.
Well, yeah, that's my issue with Batman and Green Arrow. They're not really useful when Superman can literally just punch the planet to blow it up.
That was the other problem with the Superman vs. Batman film. Literally everything about that film, the fight that I watched anyway, it was just literally Superman's kicking Batman down. Soon as Batman managed to hit him with kryptonite, he kicks him down. It then wears off. Superman goes back to beating the hell out of him. Yeah, it's so pointless.
Well, that's my worst thing about Batman. Okay, my favorite fight in Avengers-wise, Hulk versus Thor is actually a cool fight because they're on semi-even footing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, they can actually fight each other. With Batman, it's like, yeah, if he has kryptonite, he could do something. Not in the comics, though. That's what makes me laugh. Do you know what happened when Batman decided to use kryptonite? Because this got a chuckle out of me. So he puts on this full, like, gauntlet of kryptonite, and he punches Superman across the face, right?
Mm-hmm.
He shatters every single bone from his hand all the way up to his shoulder blade. Because even if you're hitting him with kryptonite, he's still fucking Superman. And it's still gonna hurt. That got a kick out of it. I laughed. And the realistic part is, okay, almost never in the comics does kryptonite instantly incapacitate him. You know, because he lifted an island of kryptonite. He fucking lived on a planet of kryptonite. He fights a man made of kryptonite. And it never just knocks him out.
It's always the problem I have with them, though. Like, the problem with superheroes is either they're underwhelming, they're ridiculously strong. Or you make them look a combination of ridiculously strong and ridiculously weak at the same time. That's all movies ever portray. And that's why Superman doesn't work as a character. Because you've essentially you've gone, right, what superhero should we make? Invincible. Invinciman is what we're going to make.
Yeah, but
except there's a rock. There's one rock, which is mostly destroyed, that for some reason makes him dribble. I don't know what it is about it, but it makes him dribble.
Yeah, but he can still fight even after getting touched by it, which is kind of... So it doesn't really work either, does it? Let's see. Oh, yeah, but there's other OP characters. You just have to find ways to make them kind of appealing. Yeah, okay, like Hulk and Thor are both super OP, technically.
Yeah, but even then, Thor isn't really. he's not portrayed as very impressive. I have to say, like in Thor films mainly, he just doesn't look very. You know, he's not.
Well, that's because all the beings in Thor are like his level of. You know what I mean? Like, okay, when he fights the Hulk, he doesn't come off looking particularly impressive. Till you think about the fact he is fighting the motherfucking Hulk. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Superheroes are a hard one, but at the same time.
Well, I guess it's a bit different because, alright, I'll agree in the movies, a lot of characters just, they can't portray what you want them to the level you want them to. For me, but as someone who read the comics, I always like a bit of it. Okay, like, Hulk versus Thor is like my favorite fight ever. Because they can genuinely fight each other on the same. And this is my other issue with Batman versus Superman. I just thought about it. Okay, some reason, Superman has had a shit morning. Woke up on the wrong side of the bed, he's a little grumpy. Batman says some shit to him, and he just turns and snaps his neck. There is absolutely nothing on God's green earth that would save Batman. He would die. The fight is over. Surrender now.
If Batman versus Superman was a Smite film, Batman looks up at the camera while he's had his neck snapped. He's like, surrender at 10.
Yep.
That would kill me. That would, like, if anyone did
what
that.
What if the fight went like that? That would have been too good.
Surrender at 10. Superman, what happens when Hercules gets fed?
Let's see.
You can kill him. It's not impossible. It's just very, very difficult.
It's beyond the capability of most men and even gods.
But that's the thing that I still find hilarious. Hercules, not even a god, demigod. How fucking strong is Hercules in Smite?
Hercules is in Marvel. He exists. I feel like you'd get a meme out of that. Did you know that? He's in the Marvel universe. He's fought Thor and Hulk before. And he's a ladies' man.
Oh yeah, I know he's definitely a ladies' man. Don't get me wrong.
No, but he was like proper in the comics. He's properly like Smite levels of a ladies' man.
Lightweight, baby. I don't know, like, that's why, I mean, the only reason I like Batman so much is because the Arkham games series is very strong. It's a very strong game. And the films that they made, well, the films that they have made recently, both the Dark Knights, have been superb films. And, you know,
well,
Joker was well
relative
done,
term.
Bane was well done, it was just really well done.
Yeah, but you notice he does not. Alright, like I said, this is the issue with Justice League. In those films, they all have one common denominator. Batman never feels like he's, you know what I mean, dealing with a problem he couldn't handle. Whenever I watch Justice League or anything like it, I just cringe. Because realistically, Batman wouldn't be useful against most of these guys. I don't know. It's like putting Hawkeye against the Hulk. What the fuck is he gonna do?
Yeah. Ah, well. I really do hope they come out with another Arkham game. Arkham Knight was fun. I really
We will
enjoyed it.
do a bit of class discussion now, I think, about superheroes. Alright, your opinion. Let's start with the classic, my favorite. Thor versus Hulk, who would win?
Well, Thor.
Alright, I want to hear the reason.
You're not allowed to back up any of your opinion with comics, by the way, because I don't care how
Alright,
Hulk could
I
rip
can look at the
everyone in
movies.
half, but you can only go
You
by the
can.
movies.
You can. Alright, I can do the movies too. Are we counting the... Well, you haven't seen Ragnarok, so I'm kind of curious how you got to this conclusion.
Just because Hulk is still quite fleshy, Thor has, you know, mobility. I feel like I'm going off Smite now.
Mobility, okay.
He has quite a bit of mobility. He controls lightning. I just feel as though, like, I know Hulk's strong, but in that sort of fight,
Well, am I allowed to bring up Thor Ragnarok or not? Can I only go with
if you like,
Avengers?
I just mean like comics. I know comics go a bit kind of morbid as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in comics the fights are a bit one-sided in the green guy's favor. But yeah, keep in mind in the comics, Hulk has. Well, I don't know if he doesn't have the powers of the movies or they just don't show them. But I'd also argue Thor and Hulk are both similarly durable.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know, and I don't think lightning would do anything. I personally don't see that because he got blasted by. Remember when he was getting blasted by all those lasers in the Avengers, and he just kind of roared at them. And granted, Thor took those lasers too, but I'm saying, oh my god, I can't do this like that. It upsets me.
I mean, I would say it's a stalemate, but nothing ever ends as a stalemate. If they had a film dedicated to Thor versus Hulk, who would win? They can't just draw
happened
it.
a bit in Ragnarok. So Hulk was pretty much destroying him. Similar to their brawl in the helicarrier, Hulk was just, you know, physically overpowering him.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. No mobility in the helicarrier. Thor would destroy it if he tried to move.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with... Well, it's interesting, because, like you said, it's the same thing in the movie. Thor doesn't have Mjolnir. And without the hammer, Thor isn't gonna be able to do much against Hulk. Because, alright, in raw physical strength, who do you think is stronger?
Oh, raw strength, that's Hulk. Like, fists
Yeah,
only, Hulk would win, obviously.
No, but that's what their fights. Well, okay, I know I'm not allowed to use comics, but I'm gonna put into reference something a bit with them. In the comics, Thor and Hulk both use they do have other powers and they do use them. But the reason the fights always end in, like, brawls is that Thor's lightning never does enough damage to actually make the Hulk stop. So when it comes down to it, they just end up punching each other. In the films, it's interesting because we never see... Alright, okay, here's my argument here. Here's an argument. Remember when Thor electrically supercharged Tony's suit
Yes.
in the Avengers movie? if that's what his lightning does to Hulk, to Tony Stark, realistically, I don't see his lightning doing damage to the Hulk.
I suppose.
Yeah, I'm saying if Tony's suit can survive it. Like you said, mobility is the big one. And realistically, I think Thor could just leave the fight. If this were a Smite game, Thor would throw his little hammer and get away from the Hulk. Get away from Cabrakan. But if they were actually required to fight each other, you know what I mean? I don't see how Thor could edge him out, really. Because I've never seen... He hasn't been cut into films. In Thor Ragnarok, they fight a lot. And actually, Thor does get the upper hand in that one. And without Mjolnir. But that's because he has, like, Odin's power in it. And he, like, does this super energy thing that knocks Hulk off him.
Yeah.
And a similar case with, well, it's not super lightning, it's literally the power of Odin, the father of all gods, but you get the gist. Let's see. It happened similarly in... What was I gonna say? Powerball mode. But throughout the film, a running gag is Thor... Okay, so Thor goes on the Quinjet thing, right? Their little ship. And he puts his handprint on and says, Thor, strongest Avenger. And then it goes, incorrect passcode. Then Banner goes, I'll try it. Welcoming Bruce Banner, strongest Avenger. So movie confirmed it. I don't know if Jeremy did it. Yeah, we had to sneak in. Fuck you.
Ruining the podcast.
Yeah, we stuck in the button.
So much cotton.
Oh. Where was I? Oh.
Stuff and things and
But
things.
that's another thing. When it comes to raw strength, it's very obvious who the winner is. But when it comes to power itself, it becomes a lot less even. Because Hulk clearly has the physical advantage over petite little blonde Thor. Poor guy.
Hemmingsworth.
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. Yeah.
Ironically,
Hemmings.
Mark Ruffalo is not much is much smaller than him.
It doesn't matter because
But-
Iron Man's still my favourite. Not in terms of power, just in terms of I think.
No, he's a cool guy.
coolest.
I like him.
And I love the playboy attitude that he has as well. It makes him even funnier.
Yeah. My favorite... I like Tony. If you look at the comic books, even like long before Robert Downey Jr. was Iron Man, he's always looked like Robert Downey Jr. So Robert Downey Jr. was actually born for this role.
Yeah.
Which I find incredibly funny.
Sounds about right, like.
Oh, do you know all those scenes where Tony Stark's eating? Like he's just eating like snacks and shit? You know
He's
why
always
that is?
eating stuff in everything I see him in. It's hilarious.
Yeah, because Robert Downey Jr. literally hides food on set. And he just starts eating it. That's improvised. It's not in the script. That's his actual food. You didn't know that? Neither did I till recently.
That's quite funny.
When Robert Downey Jr. turns to Captain America, he goes, "Hey, Blueberry?" He's genuinely offering him his food. That's just Robert Downey Jr.'s food he brought from home.
See, he fits the character too well.
Yeah, it's unnatural.
It's like if he tried to act as, like, right, Tony or Robert, can you please play like a playboy character?
And he just smirks.
He would, yeah, he would be fine.
He already knows what's gonna happen. But Robert Downey Jr. is amazing. He was born for Iron Man. And Tony Stark's an interesting hero. Because, I don't know. I do not like what they did to Ant-Man in the MCU. He's just fucking retarded.
Hmm.
You know what they, So,
I mean,
you know how
you can
Tony
tell me.
Stark
I probably know, but
You
yeah.
probably won't care. Alright, Tony Stark built Ultron, right? In the movies?
Yes, yeah.
Now, that is literally the only major character arc Ant-Man has, building Ultron and being a pacifist. So in the movie, he's just this lazy guy, like a janitor, and I don't really know what I'm supposed to do with his character. Because I don't care. His one plot arc is gone. Tony took it. Which is fair enough, I guess. But it means Ultron, I don't know, it means his whole plot arc is completely fucked. And I won't get to see him go through personality disorder and shit, which upsets me.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't care. Okay, I don't like the craze on like comic book TV shows does not interest me at all.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like they've done Superwoman, they're doing more and more. Luke Cage, etc., etc. You get the idea. I actually just don't give a fuck.
Luke Cage was good in Ultimate Alliance. That's all I'll give him. In the game. The Wii game. God, the Wii. Jesus Christ. I feel like
Everyone
500
had a
years
Wii
old.
at one point. It's gonna be one of those things you have in a closet somewhere and you just pull it out one day. It's like covered in dust. Oh no.
Yeah. To be fair, it has just been
Metal.
sat by our TV, not doing anything.
The Wii was, I don't know, Nintendo upsets me now.
Got the Nintendo Switch.
Well, the Nintendo queer.
Essentially.
I don't give a shit. I want to play Mario Kart on PlayStation. Is that too much to ask? I want to play Mario Party on PlayStation.
Oh, Mario
third
Party.
I don't want to play your shitty console. I just want to play your game.
Like, even, like, the Nintendo DS, I had a DSi for a little while, but now that I've got, like, a decent Motorola phone, I don't need a Nintendo to play the games I can
that's
play
like
on my
portable
phone.
console. You can just even if you wanted to play Nintendo games, I played all of Ocarina of Time on my fucking phone. Because you can just get an emulator on your phone for 64 games, and it'll work.
The only game I used Nintendo DS for anyway was Plants vs Zombies. You can get that easily on your phone, and it looks nicer.
So it doesn't really add up. Well, now phones are like so powerful, like you don't need a handheld console for any. Oh, that's my other thing. The Wii U data storage is like non-existent, and the cartridges are actually really, really, really inefficient at storing data. So the games are tiny. So companies have to shrink their game from other consoles to fit it. It can't handle Overwatch. A 20 gigabyte game is too big. I don't know, there's a limit there for me.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And shit, Nintendo fans will buy it because they released it with Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild.
Pretty much.
And that's the only thing that sells their shitty hardware anymore. Oh, I can game on the go now. Yeah, I can do that too with my phone. I actually never. Come on, guys. Nintendo, do something new. I don't care what. The specifics are up to you, Nintendo. Just something different than what you normally do. Playing. And that's why I think if you have a Nintendo console, you just have to be like, okay, I never want to play anything but Nintendo games.
It's Nintendo games. They're just, meh.
Like, no, but, okay, realistically, we would all buy Mario Party and Mario Kart if it was on the PlayStation. I firmly believe that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? Because it would just be fun to play with your friends.
Of course.
But if they're gonna put it on their shitty console, I'm not paying $300 just to play Mario Kart. And neither are any of my friends. You useless twats.
Of course not. I'm gonna waste my time.
Oh, then fucking... I swear to God, they're so far behind on like network gaming, online gaming. It's absurd. There's no in-game party chat. There's no in-console party chat. But Nintendo has a special app you can put on your phone to talk to your friends.
I just think we need more co-op-y games. Like we're missing something. There's a hole in game. I mean, Smite being a free-to-play game is amazing and all. I do love Smite, and Hi-Rez is a good company. They balance things well. They don't get greedy with money or anything. But it's just the fact that...
I'm coming, Dad.
Like, Hi-Rez... I know I'm going to be talking to myself, but it don't matter. This is the issue I have with... I mean, the game I'm playing right now is a perfect example. This game is really good to all you people out there. I do recommend Let It Die. Even if you play it for like 5-10 minutes in a day, just to get like a kick out of killing things. Like, stay on the lower floors. I mean, you see my progress. Like, I really haven't. Floor 13 is the highest, and I don't ever plan on going through these 3 floors. Floor 10 is the highest I will go. I just enjoy going through the first few floors and just feeling powerful. But it's not a co-op game. There's a PvP element, but it's not a co-op game. Which, sadly, I really wish there was just more good co-op games. Because there are none. Well, there are barely any that are, like, good. You got your kind of Dead Islands and stuff that can be interesting. But problem with that. I mean, I can buy it, but it's like games like Dying Light. Perfect. Absolutely perfect game. But there aren't enough of them. Don't know if anyone else feels the way I do about that sort of stuff, but we default back to the same sorts of games because they don't cost any money, or if they do, it's, you know, worth it when you see them. So Smite being a good example. That's why people play League of Legends and all the rest of it. You know, it's one of those things where, yeah, there just aren't enough of them.
I'm back.
Hello. Yeah.
Sorry.
If you want to add anything to me, having a little conversation. Essentially, what I was saying was, there aren't enough co-op games, fun games to play.
Yeah. Well, I agree. There's nothing.
Dying Light being a fabulous example, GTA being a good example, but there's not enough to do in that game.
Oh, it's that. I don't know if it's that there's not enough to do, or it's that what there is to do just isn't that entertaining for that long.
Yeah, no, you can like blow cars up and stuff, and that's it.
And even if you make crazy amounts of money, it's like, okay. Yeah. There's only so much you can do in the game.
Yeah, I know.
When I was playing... Well, that's why I got so excited when I saw GTFO. I was like, oh, a co-op game with horror shooter elements that looks genuinely kind of fun.
Well, you need more muck around games though. Like the slightest bit of competitive nature in any game just throws the game off wildly. That's why I refuse to play Be the Zombie mode in Dying Light, 'cause that's slightly competitive and it's not good.
Fair enough. I don't know, because well, you can't really get competitive in a 4-player co-op shooter, I'd hope. Like, Left 4 Dead wasn't... I guess the multiplayer was competitive, but... not really. Because you can just fucking... work shit. I'm gonna need to do this. I need Blackhorn. But, let's see. Dying Light's a good game. You never played Left 4 Dead, but trust me when I say they were fun. Very fun.
Oh, I get that.
Let's see. I don't know, because the issue is, if you're gonna do a muck around game, it's very hard to get that right. With, like, zombies tend to be the one people go for, because you can make engaging enemy types and stuff.
Well, it's just also like... The way you make a good game is don't de-incentivize, I think. Don't do that, because like deaths is the biggest thing for me. Like the game I'm playing right now is a really poor example of this, because it really badly de-incentivizes dying. Like, don't die or you will be fucking screwed, essentially. But it's just... It's classic examples of just... That's how you make a good co-op game, though, is just don't... Like, for Dying Light, you lose points. Well, who cares, though?
Yeah. Yeah, but you don't want a game where it's, like...
Too easy.
I don't know. Too easy. No punishment for dying, no point. You know, there has to be a point to play. Which is why the survival zombie games are so popular in that genre.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, in 7 Days to Die, which would be fun if it wasn't butt ugly and awkward to play.
Yeah.
There's a fun bit with the Horde every 7 days. You're just prepping for that. But after a certain point, there's no purpose. Ark would be great if people weren't cunts. Human nature took over in that game, and
yeah.
Let's see. I need to get...
I don't know why I keep having people raid me in this game, and they're people with like 18k HP.
What are you supposed to do?
I don't understand why people keep doing that though. Like literally, like almost every single raid someone's done on my room, it's someone who is the top tier fighters. I don't know if they like just enjoy bullying people lower level, or they're just doing it for the sake of, oh, I've got nothing else to do. But fuck off is all I'm gonna say.
Well, that's the other thing. Any game with like progression, major progression from beginning to end, you get those trolls who know they can just dominate. In our case, it's everyone. Oh. I don't care that you just have a spear. I'm gonna unleash my hail of turret fire on your face. Thank you for that. That's what I needed. Let's see, fighting games are just meh to me for the most part. Let's see. What is it? Well, the other thing is they haven't done any like story-based co-op games either. Because there were a couple of those back when I was like RPG style games.
Yeah.
Okay, Dragon Age would have been great for most, or even Skyrim or something would be great for co-op. But some reason they do it wrong. They don't understand. Like, imagine having MMOs are just meh to me. The grind is too boring for the most part. Destiny 2 is kind of one of those muck around games if you don't play PvP. But there's just not enough to do.
No, it gets very kind of dull.
They're buffing like all the exotics, so we'll see how that goes. I'll probably I'm gonna download it soon. When that new raid hits, I'm gonna get it. They've already done Masterwork armor for everything, Masterwork redoing exotic weapons, including the Sunshot and the Crimson for some reason. Even though the Crimson is bullshitly strong. Let's see. Or even like I'd take a side scroller beat 'em up that was 2-player. I'd take anything at this point. But they really haven't been doing a lot of just fun co-op games. I don't know what you're supposed to do about that though. I don't know. Okay, the other thing is co-op games are good. The genres that, especially in a free-to-play market, co-op games don't do well. You know what I mean?
Like going back a bit would be split screen.
Yeah. Well, what a lot of games do now is they make it like a game mode. You can do a fun little co-op mode, because it's like I said, free to play and stuff. It's just an unsustainable model. Because when you think about it, there's the issue with co-op and stuff is after a certain point you're just gonna stop playing, unless it's like I said, Left 4 Dead was one of those ones that was very replayable, because they knew if they kept the game challenging enough and they added, and no one's gonna get bored of killing that many zombies. Killing Floor 2 was only not that fun because it never really got more challenging, or when it did, it felt like bullshit. It wasn't just, oh, there are more zombies. It's, no, the zombies have 10 times the health.
That was what was funny though about Dying Light. Volatiles were, to the most extent, if you played on Nightmare mode, and you were using like gas
Genuinely.
pipes, they were unkillable.
Yeah. Well, oh, horror games are a good one too. Like horror shooters things, they work for the co-op genre because it's just funny. And my issue with that, like, I don't know. I like the Dune buggy too much, realistically. That's my problem. When I go back and play it and I can't drive, I'm like, eh. But then I get in the Dune buggy and my heart fills with joy. I don't know. And I was, you know how we were, alright, so my friends started to think it might be a new trend, get a bunch of, to make these really complicated games, be unable to balance them, and then it just kind of dies out very quickly after getting the money. And like Lawbreakers is a good example. No one plays that anymore. I think it was played for all 5 minutes, even with all the advertising.
Didn't feel like it ever came in as a game.
Yeah, but they tried to push it hard. You know what I mean, with the advertising. I don't know if you remember, but I got like 5 ads on YouTube for that shit.
Oh well, we'll see if there's anything big that's new. Because I mean, the only one I could still think of that obviously holds true is Minecraft.
Well, yes, but even a vanilla Minecraft just isn't that sustainable.
No.
Because you get bored with it. If they had mods out, I'd be playing it right now. Because some Minecraft mods are just so intensive and so fun and like reinvent the game almost.
Yeah.
Oh god. No, don't hit me, don't hit me. Okay, you cocksucker. Yeah, all the... Let's see.
It's fine. Any final thoughts before I end the completely ranty stream and then get ready to go to bed?
Yeah, whoever's out there, if you're a game developer, remake Evolve, or make a game like it, please.
Yes,
There
please.
you go. Just a request. Just, you know, make it work. Hi-Res, you did an Overwatch thing, you know, knockoff thing. Do an Evolve knockoff, but make it work. Can you manage that? I believe in you. If I could trust any company to make it work, it would be you, Hi-Res.
God bless. Goodbye.
See you, Brandon.
Not you, the stream.